Congratulations on the film. And for you, Maureen, this isn't your first time at South by Southwest. Your feature debut, Golden Arm, was at the festival before. Compared to that year, it's probably a lot different.
Yeah, well, I mean, the crazy part is my movie Golden Arm was supposed to premiere at South by Southwest in 2020. So obviously we know what happened. It was the first thing down. So I didn't actually get to attend the festival. So this experience is completely different because we're here. And I actually get to experience the festival and be a person and see it with an audience and be here with Ramona. So it's so exciting to actually like be here. And it's so lovely that it's the first festival kind of back in person.
Yes, especially for you both. It's such a genre-defying film. How did that approach look like for you both, Ramona as an actress and Maureen as a director?
As an actress, like the first thing I always look at is, of course, the script. And reading the script, I thought it was funny. And then towards the end, I was completely shook and I loved it. And of course, like the script that I initially read is actually very different than like the movie that we created together. So, Maureen, you want to talk about that?
What's really incredible is that originally the script had two boys, and it was like let's have an open, like let's actually like audition, you know, women and men. So we kind of had it both. And as soon as Ramona's tape came in, it was like, oh, it was instantly clear that it was always Ramona. So that's one thing that was like so incredible. And then kind of balancing that tone, I think, Ramona is so funny. So being able to like bring in comedians to like play that tonal shift to me was really exciting. And it was just being able to carry comedy through even parts when it gets thrilling. So that was really important. So you need really incredible actors that have comedy chops, then are also could just act with their emotions.
Yeah, and actually going into a little bit of character, so much of the film is about legacy. We have Mrs. Wheeler, who's clearly touched a lot of minds in her career. And then we have Ben, who wants to follow in his father's footsteps. But May Tanner is it's one of the first times we see someone comfortable with not having everything figured out, because usually there's an anxiety to that. But she's truly comfortable just letting it all flow. Can you talk to us a bit about that journey of self-discovery? Because it is also a little, I love Never Have I Ever. So your character is so comfortable with wanting to know what they know who they are. So between those two characters, like getting into that journey.
Yeah, I think something that's really interesting about May Tanner is maybe she seems very like relaxed and comfortable with who she is, but I also feel like that's like her way of coping with being afraid to really try hard and work hard to her fullest potential. So I think that's a very interesting dynamic to play, like almost because she's very easygoing and comfortable, but really it's because she's afraid of like, everything that everyone else is afraid of, like rejection and not making it and whatnot.
Yeah, it's so true. Like afraid to fail kind of sometimes.
Yeah.
I have a cousin who actually reminds me of this character where he is so talented, but then would always not choose anything because he never wanted to choose the wrong thing.
Right.
And so in some ways that looks like being like, I'm cool, I'm whatever, but it is like, oh, I'm afraid to make the wrong choice.
Yeah.
I would like to know, was there a specific reason why she wasn't in Mrs. Wheeler's class? Because I found that very interesting.
Yeah, I think the reason we didn't end up having her in the class was that it maybe just felt like maybe too easy. That if they both had her in the class and they both failed. Also, it's just kind of nice to have Tanner not really be in the class, but then like driving Ben to do this thing, where it's like, if I was, there's a safety in that. Well, if I was in this class, this is what I would do. I would get back at this teacher. I think that's kind of like a funny way to be like, you should do this. Even though I'm not in this class, the teacher doesn't affect me. Yeah. And she's doing it for her friend. She's trying to support her friend, trying to support Ben. And that's, how she cooks up the scheme.
I feel like it's almost easier to cause mayhem when you're not like facing the consequences.
Absolutely.
Until you do.
Yeah, until you do.
Also, getting into Rita Moreno, of course, I have to ask, as a Puerto Rican, like she's an icon, but we've never seen her do something quite like this. And it was so refreshing. That third act had me like with popcorn. I was so into it. as a director, of course, what was it like being able to orchestrate that and bring that to life? And of course, for you, Ramona, what was it like being able to like have that give and take as performers?
I mean, obviously, like Rita Moreno is like the pinnacle. She's just incredible, and it was kind of like an out of body experience. I think at some point you have to be like, okay, we're doing the work, because you could just gush over her all day, but she was so infectious. She brought such like vitality to the set. And what's really incredible is that I've always wanted to work with her. So when I got the script, I thought, I would love to see Rita Moreno in a role like this, because she hasn't ever done anything. So we sent her the script. She read it on a weekend and she said yes, which was so incredible. And then we kind of worked on her character together. We kind of changed a little bit of things, like how she dressed, things that she wanted to add. So it was really incredible to be able to work with her and develop Mrs. Wheeler in a way that felt organic and real, but then still had the like, comedy and then the deliciousness of like her, the other side.
Yeah, for me, like I always knew how iconic Rita was. So I was a little like I didn't know what to expect, with someone with such a huge like reputation and resume. And then meeting her, she made everyone so comfortable just because she would just laugh and joke. Time she was like super grounded and like telling us all these crazy stories from her past, and she made everyone feel really comfortable. And when she was acting, she was just so at ease that it made your acting better, just like being in the same room as her. It was wonderful.
She's a very generous person. I feel like with her time, with her, talent, with her ideas. The other thing is like, she's still so excited about filmmaking. Every time we would talk about, setups or where we were going to put the camera, she'd be like, oh, I love that. She'd be so excited. So I hope she's excited about what I love into my 90s.
Absolutely. And also diving into the film again, in the end, it's a film about friendship and about those relationships that are created. Is there any other aspect of this movie that you hope people can relate to and hold on to, other than, of course, Mrs. Wheeler's character aside?
I mean, I hope that people, it's funny, my mom watched the movie and she's like, can this kind of stuff happen in real life? And it's like, Mom, that's all the internet is.
Yeah.
So I feel like I hope people kind of, it's an interesting tale, right? It takes some twists and turns, but we live in such an age of social media where you can kind of destroy someone's reputation with the click of a button. And so what does that mean? And, how you have a lot of power. Everybody does, to affect somebody else's life.
Yeah, I feel like on top of that, like as terrible and as scary as the internet can seem, like I feel like something else that I took away from it is it does flow over eventually. So hang in there.
That's true.
Right?
The news cycle moves fast.
Yeah, it moves fast.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sitting with us. Of course, again, congratulations on the film, and I hope you enjoy the rest of South by Southwest.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad you enjoyed it.